We now have a generation that believes everything we did by colonizing. Yes, it is true. They think everything about colonization was wrong. It wasn't. There were some terrible things, and there were some good things to come out of it. And that is about properly acknowledging your past.
Education.
Yes, completely.
Sanitation.
Transportation.
There was so much that we brought to communities. But you see, you're typical of what we're talking about.
No, I'm saying that colonisation, the empire was wrong. It was wrong, full stop. That's, the things that Britain might have done.
But that's very much through your modern sensibilities,
yes.
You might say that, because we wouldn't now routinely go into other countries.
It was a profoundly racist set of basically invasions of other people, where we subjugated people to our rule and sort of made them work for us. It was completely
made their countries work.
But imagine yourself in the shoes of a 13-year-old boy hearing you say that.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
What do they then... How do they then carry that through life?
Well,
in terms of who I am as a Brit.
But it's not about...
We had racist ancestors.
Say it,
but Bev...
But I'm saying that we hear much more of that than we do about the benefits of that period of time.
Well, because I don't think there were benefits. I think that we have to be completely...
Of course there were.
So you benefits to us.
I don't think there were.
There were benefits to us.
A lot of those countries did not... Jonathan, those countries...
It absolutely does.
Those countries did not have money. They did not have the creativity. They did not have people in positions of power
Of course they had creativity in those countries. They just didn't live like Britain did. It doesn't make it worse. It just makes it different.
So it's okay to live without education, and it's okay to live without a transportation system, is it?
They did have education. It just wasn't our education system. They had language. It wasn't our language.
This cultural
medicine we brought to
precisely what we have.
Yes.
I don't know. Look, I don't know why we're even.
Hey, Shalom. I'd like to start out by giving all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakah Quadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect of Israel. This is Thamayim in Atlanta, and you just saw a clip from the Remnant Saved 144 channel from the elder there, and you hear these Edomites. First off, you see the division between Edom being so-called white people, including the small hatters. That's all Idumea. But you see the division between them, but you're also seeing them trying to deal with the shame of the violence and the theft that their forefathers committed. And they're so proud, they try to pretend like it benefited people, but it didn't. All you did was destroy. That's what you do. They are nothing but destroyers and death. And what that lady said is, for some of the benefits, was education, sanitation, and transportation. Sanitation, this earth is completely polluted. As it says in Isaiah 24, the earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. With transportation, Jake had something to do with the transportation. Most of the inventions that we have, it's just Esau knows how to take it and then legally make it his to take credit for it. And then education. The education system is set up to indoctrinate people. It doesn't actually bring forth wisdom and knowledge. It just indoctrinates people into their way of thinking. And their way of thinking is wicked. A knowledge of wickedness is no knowledge whatsoever. But actually, since I said that word indoctrinate, let's get it. Indoctrinate, to teach, formed as if from Latin, but there seems to have been no word indoctrinaire, perhaps modeled on French indoctriner, or extended from earlier, obsolete, to instruct, to imbue with an idea or opinion. And we have been imbued with Western ideas and opinion. And Western thought is completely opposite to Eastern thought or to righteous thought under Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Western is basically backwards, and you notice West even goes with left because the western side of the world is actually on the left hand side, and that's what these people are. They are sinister, which that goes into left hand. And you even look at the writing. Hebrew goes from right to left, but English goes from left to right. Being, which, let's get the word educate, which means career. And going a little further down, according to Central Dictionary, educare of a child is usually with reference to bodily nurture or support, while educare refers more frequently to the mind, and there is no authority for the common statement that the primary sense of education is to draw out or unfold the powers of the mind. So you have to draw this out, and you need a teacher to draw this out of you, especially with the wisdom.
Positive vibes only, man. It's positive vibes only.
Come on, man.
Mike, old final rookie, Mike.
Oh my God!
My mom has been going through 6 months of cancer treatments, just got divorced, and just had a major surgery, and I want to do a little something to brighten her day. I've never done this before, but after watching a bunch of videos on here, I feel like I can. So come with me to build her a beautiful, giant, magnificent, hopefully, flower bouquet.
Really no education at all. But one last thing, because these devils know the truth. They know that you have to have the Lord for you to be truly educated, for you to have true knowledge. And here's a devil with a really good quote. This is from Teddy Roosevelt. It says, "A thorough knowledge of the Bible is worth more than a college education." And that is very true. I went to college and I've got 2 degrees, not bragging or anything like that, because it was really worthless. I've learned so much more since coming into the truth, and really just since leaving college. You learn so much more, and a thorough knowledge of the Bible, just like he says, is worth more than a college education. That is very, very true. But these devils insist on indoctrinating, and that's what they've done. And they've pulled in the Prussian education system, and that has just made a bunch of little workers, a bunch of little drones that just have no opinion except for the opinion that their government gives them. We're going to check out some TikToks real quick. Oh, that is not it. 1 second. Alright, this is what I wanted to get. And this is Jordan Peterson speaking on the Prussian model of education.
To the derivation of the American public education system and found out that it was based on the Prussian model. And the Prussians produced a universal education system in the late 1800s because they were afraid they were losing military superiority, and they wanted to produce a cadre of mindless, obedient soldiers. That was expressly the purpose. And then that model was adopted by prototypical fascists in the US, again in the late 1800s, this is before Mussolini and all of that time, corporate types mostly, who wanted to produce cadres of obedient workers. And that's why the desks are in rows, and that's why there's factory bells, and that's why it's top-down leadership. What was really stunning about that wasn't only that that was the model, but it's worse than that, because the people who built the schools were consciously aiming at eradicating the will of the students who were part of the system because they wanted them to be obedient. I did some investigation into the derivation of the American public education.
Yeah, so that Prussian model just makes for mindless drones with no free thought. They don't ever question anything. And I came up in that, so most of us came up within these schools that really resemble prisons. And it's not until the Lord calls you and gets you into the scriptures and into his truth that you really have free thought, have a mind. And again, I'm very surprised that lady brought up education. Their education that they are giving us is, again, just indoctrination. And it really just dumbs you down to where today we're seeing
posting a raw and unfiltered farewell video as she leaves.
Slovakia, you're seeing all of these students that cannot read. And you go on TikTok or on YouTube or any social media, and you'll see teachers complaining about how the children cannot read. And that starts at home, but they pulled the women out of the home who are supposed to be the first educators and got the women working so that the children could be indoctrinated into these schools under the Prussian model, in which they are not learning anything whatsoever. Let's go to this.
The classroom behind after just 3 years. Listen.
A lot of these kids don't know how to read because they have had things read to them, or they can click a button and have something read out loud to them. I just don't think these kids even care. They don't care about making a difference in the world. They don't care about how to have a resume. They don't care how to write a resume. They don't care how to write a cover letter, because ChatGPT will just do it for them. And I think that we need to cut off technology from these kids, probably until they go to college.
Hannah.
So there's an example right there of a teacher. I'm going to back out of this and just scroll down, and you will see numerous teachers complaining about how these children cannot read now. Esau's education is just wickedness, really. It's nothing good. It's nothing needed. Think about how you were in school and all the things that you actually use nowadays. There's a few things that I learned to where I bring it out within the truth, like the Council of Nicaea, and that was something I learned in 4th or 5th grade, and that has made complete sense here within the truth, showing that Christians are really just pagans and have a bunch of pagan beliefs. But most of the things you learn and had to study and take all these tests on, you don't use it at all nowadays. I don't use it within my job or my day-to-day. It's worthless. But let's go and let's check out all these other teachers talking about how these kids can't read.
Is a former teacher.
The elite college students who can't read books.
Let's talk about why students at elite and Ivy League colleges cannot read an entire book.
I'm going to just say this. I teach 7th grade. They are still performing on the 4th grade level.
7th grade English teacher.
These kids can't read. They can't decode. They have no vocabulary, no background knowledge. I've never seen anything like it. For context, for 8 years, I taught a self-contained program for significant language-based learning disabilities. Like, it was the most restrictive environment. It was the step before being sent to a specialized school. And my 5th graders with significant language-based learning disabilities could write better than non-disabled 7th graders can now.
Elementary school kids are not reading. Kids are not reading. Kids cannot read. It doesn't matter if your child's at an A school or if your child's at a D school or if your child's at a charter school or a private school. I have seen kids at all areas, they all struggle. They all struggle because they don't have exposure and they don't have consistency with reading. We can blame the Department of Education. We can blame the literacy rates been at an all-time.
So you see, they can't read. And people can't read nowadays. And that's crazy. How are they going to get the understanding of the Lord if they cannot read? And Esau did this on purpose. They are the problem of the earth. Everything they have done has caused problems that have just multiplied and caused more problems. Esau has to be taken out of the way. Or else no flesh will be saved. This is insane. These people are insane, and they're just far too wicked to even to have a chance of salvation, which Esau doesn't. There's no place of repentance for these profane Edomites. They have done too much, and Western thought has ruined everybody, the whole entire world. The earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof because they've transgressed the laws, broken the holy covenant. And the Edomites took the Lord out of education. You can't bring it up in school. And so these kids aren't learning. Proverbs 9, we're going to start at 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And they took out the fear of the Lord. He's nothing but rainbows and sunshine and all love and everybody could be saved. They took out the understanding of the Lord, which took out the fear. And these kids can't read. They don't understand basic things. And that is something that the Edomites did. That's what your colonization did to those women at the beginning, defending their Edomite supremacy. You have created no benefit has come from you being in power except for the great example of what wickedness is. That is the only benefit that has come. It says, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. You have to know the Lord to have any sort of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. You have to have the fear of the Lord. And that is our duty here on the earth, is to fear the Most High and keep His commandments. Verse 9, going back up, it says, give instruction to a wise man, and he will be yet wiser. Teach a just man, and he will increase in learning. But with the wicked, it's the exact opposite, because they have all this knowledge that's outside of what the Lord wants. And it makes them seem really smart to society, but it's no knowledge whatsoever. This is Sirach 19 and 22. The knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom. And that's all that the Edomites know. They can't do right. They can't get right. To people looking in, it seems like they've got everything together and that they're on top. It's lucky that they're on top of society and do a great job, but it's all built off of wickedness. It's built off of the robbery that they've done. Everywhere they live is stolen. It's based off of blasphemy in the scriptures and changing them all around to where it fits their narrative that they want. It's based off of just being adverse to the Lord's law, statutes, commandments, which shows that they're the children of Satan. Because Satan means adversary, and these people are completely adverse to the laws, completely adverse to it, and that is wicked. And all they have is a knowledge of wickedness, and that is no wisdom whatsoever. Neither at any time the counsel of sinners prudence. So stop. We can't believe anything that they say. They will only destroy us. Even if they're trying to be nice, it still comes out wicked. Everything they do and touch just turns to wickedness. and destruction, death. If they kept going, you would get to people not being able to read. Yeah, you have a few, but their education system it's not wisdom. It's not righteous. It doesn't have the fear of the Lord in it, and it's really just destroying people. It's making them think they're all smart and built up, but all it's done is destroy people. Oh, these Edomites they've got to be judged. We need the Lord to return and judge these Edomites. They have to be taken out of power. And so, Lord willing, that was edifying. I'd like to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. Shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom.